Hi everybody, my name is Megan Martinez and I'm currently enrolled in SPCE 682, Section 814 with Professor Trinkle. Today is January 25th, 2025, and I'm going to begin by shuffling my deck of cards 3 times and splitting them down the middle. 1, 2, 3, split down the middle. I'm going to be holding the card so that the term is facing the camera, definition's facing me, and I have a timer set on my phone already for 1 minute that I'm going to begin right now. When behavior happens in the presence of new stimuli or settings, stimulus generalization. Set of evidence-based strategies used to increase quality of life and decrease challenging behavior by teaching new skills and making changes to a person's environment. Positive behavior support. Procedure in which access to reinforcement is removed or reduced contingent on unwanted behavior with the goal of reducing the rate of the response. Pass. When the client does not possess the skill to perform the expected response, skill deficit. Requires a verbal SD which is followed by a nonverbal response, listener responding LR. Varying non-critical aspects of instruction. Pass. Hybrid of the systematic and narrative reviews. Experts often offer suggestions when insufficient evidence is available. The primary limitation of this source includes the need for practitioners to maintain an awareness of which recommendations are based on the literature versus expert opinion. Pass. That's my time. I'm going to continue through the deck. Similar to a behavioral cusp, a behavior that is learned produces change in other adaptive, untrained behavior. Pass. Quantitative marker to judge if the individual learned a specific behavior. Pass. Small group activities with a defined area, activity, theme, and roles incorporating typical developing peers and adult scaffolding as needed to support the learner. Structured play groups. When a client is no longer demonstrating measurable progress on an observed skill, plateau. An intervention strategy in which peers are trained, supervised, and monitored to implement interventions. Peer-mediated interventions. Specifying a performance, quality, and or level to be attained, often by a particular time. Goal setting? Ooh. A reinforcement strategy designed by William Jensen in which the students earn tokens to access reinforcers, but do not know when or what will be accessed. Often used as an invisible marker, can be implemented with individuals or groups. Pass, I don't know. Behavior analysts select and design behavior change interventions that are anchored in behavioral and scientific principles, are culturally responsive, and implement assessments that maximize benefits and minimize risks. Pass, I don't know. Ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Empathy. A teaching strategy that eliminates or minimizes responding to incorrect choices. Errorless learning. Shared attention, an important skill for young children to master that serves as a prerequisite for many social skills. Joint attention. An imitation training procedure which capitalizes on delayed imitation to evoke an imitative response in the presence of an SD. Pass. Typically includes an analysis of the quality, quantity, and consistency of the literature related to either the effectiveness of one treatment across populations or the effectiveness of a treatment for one given population. Systematic review. The systematic and gradual fading of an intrusive prompts, discriminative stimuli or cues designed to shift control to the stimuli designated to revoke the response. Fading. Contingent access to higher probability behavior reinforcers, lower probability behavior. Pass. No idea. Teaches learners to engage in conversation by talking about things that are not present and not being requested. Fill-ins are often used, but transfer procedures may better promote generalization. Pass. An individualized instructional strategy that focuses on building fluency, charting acceleration, and reinforcement. Precision teaching. An overcorrection procedure in which the individual repeatedly practices a positive alternative behavior used when there is no environmental disruption. Positive practice overcorrection. Responses which have been reinforced in the past in the presence of a specific antecedent stimuli are said to be under stimulus control. Stimulus discrimination. Individuals with ongoing and direct contact with the target client, stakeholder clients. Behavior analysts use language that others can comprehend to explain their services and how they will be implemented. Pass. Discriminative stimulus that sets the occasion for a desired response. Prompt. Embrace the participants' values, expectations, traditions, and ideas. Cultural match. Involve instruction of a single exemplar or program with 0 to 8 seconds between trials. Pass. Involve stimulus presentation by instructor, learner response, consequence, and interval between trials. DTT. Involves the process of self-monitoring through which one reactively changes one's own behavior. Pass. The extent to which alternative explanations for changes observed in the dependent variable are ruled out. Pass. A prompt hierarchy in which the first level is independent, least to most prompting. Structured method utilized to identify highly preferred items or actions that can be used as reinforcers to keep motivation levels high when teaching. Preference assessment. Process by which a person takes control over their own life. Self-determination. Behavior analysts implement behavioral change interventions that are anchored in behavioral and scientific principles, use assessments. I'm going to stop right there. I don't know. Pass. Involves an individual learning to respond to stimuli which are similar to one another. Generalization. Involves a determination of whether the resources and supports who are able to provide training to supervisees required for the intervention to be implemented are present in the situation. Pass. Exists when the client is able to perform the skill but chooses not to do so to insufficient contact with reinforcers in the environment. Performance deficit. When a behavior continues to happen even after training has stopped. Maintenance. Involves instruction of acquisition tasks interspersed with mastered tasks with typically short inter-trial intervals. Pass. Procedural form of extinction that involves simply ignoring behavior. This would only be effective in eliminating the behavior if the behavior is maintained by attention. Planned ignoring. Can be implemented by capturing or contriving established operations and presenting prompts as needed. Pass. Prompt hierarchy in which the first prompt is the most intrusive level of prompt needed to ensure correct responding. Most to least prompting. Should be made with stakeholders and should drive the process for treatment selection. The goal should prioritize client health and overall well-being, safety, and independence. Should be observable and measurable. Treatment goals. Behavior analysts establish a signed service agreement that is regularly reviewed with clients and relevant stakeholders, clearly defining responsibilities, scope of services, adherence to professional standards, and procedures for addressing complaints. Service agreement. Demonstration of appropriate responses or behaviors typically demonstrating the skill the individual should perform. Pass. Skills required to have in repertoire prior to teaching novel skills. Prerequisites. Prerequisite skills. I got that wrong. Planned activity check, an observation system in which the observer counts the number of individuals engaged in a behavior during a particular interval of time, useful in classrooms. PLA check. Extent to which a treatment is fair, reasonable, appropriate, unintrusive, and likely to be recommended to others. Treatment acceptability. The practice of self-reflection and learning from others to honor their beliefs, customs, values, while adhering any personal biases. Pass. Reinforcement is delivered for a functionally equivalent communicative response while placing less desirable behaviors on extinction. Pass. Child playing next to another child and engaged in a similar activity without direct social overtures. Parallel play. Play in which children are able to use objects to represent other things. Pass. Early play milestone that it includes simple play acts to play with toys as intended, such as puzzles and cars. This stage generally correlates with first words. Functional play. Yeah. Make the instructional and natural setting as similar as possible. Pass. Objects, pictures, or symbols that are used to provide info about activities, expectation, or routine. Visual supports. An interdependent group contingency implemented in the classroom that was designed in the 1960s. Teams of students compete against each other. I don't know. Pass. Okay, that's all my cards. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.